So Wizard101 decided to change a couple more cards in the game, and a lot of people have different opinions, and I want to give you guys a little bit on my insight on what I think. I would have recorded this video yesterday, but I wasn't feeling the best, and I'm feeling a little bit better today, so I was like, okay, here, we'll make the video for today. So hopefully you guys don't mind. I'm a little bit late to the party, but it's okay. Hey, I still want to make a video about it. But those two spells that are getting changed are Empower and Dark Pact. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. First, I want to mention that Dark Pact is getting renamed now. Now, because of course we are having the new system with Shadow Pacts and stuff like that, they decided to rename this to Dark Tribute instead of Dark Pact, to not get confused with the whole Shadow Pact system coming in play. So I understand why they're changing the name. It's okay. I get a better understanding. Now, with this change, of course, there are some questions involved. Before I show the card, I want to mention some things as well. Now, a lot of people do use item card pets, hence I always use them as well. Now, one of the things that some pets have is the no pain, no gain, and it's a talent on pets that gives you the Dark Pact. Well, this is going to be changed as well, just the name as well as the card itself. The talent is still going to be remaining the same. It's not like the spell is going to get banned, but it will have the updated card and everything like that too. I know some people are like, oh, I have to remake my whole pets and stuff like that all because of this one change. No, that doesn't mean anything. So all your other dark packs on pets and stuff like that will just be changed to Dark Tribute. Now I wanted to switch to my death for the rest of the video so we can continue it, because mainly these are death spells. So what Dark Pact currently does in game, if we look at it, is it does 250 moon damage to self, and then it gives you plus 25 blade for the next two spells. So you get, two blades that are plus 25%, universal of course. Well, what is being changed to now is called Dark Tribute. Now it does 5% of your max health on self, and it gives you two 35% blades. So this is a net buff in certain aspects, as well as slight nerfs. Now you might be wondering, how is this a nerf? Well, a lot of people, including myself, even PvP players that did use Dark Pact on certain pets, is the fact is you would use this to get rid of a weakness. Anytime someone would put like a universal weakness on you, or if you're even on a bounce, because chromatic weaknesses are a universal, you would tend to use Dark Pact to get rid of that weakness and get a buff out of it, which you'll get those two blades. Well, now that this is a 5% max HP spell, that's no longer the case. So if you have a weakness on you, you have a V-Plague on you, anything like that, even in raids, advanced combat, even in your solo fights, whatnot, any aspect of the game, this will not get rid of those weaknesses anymore. And that is the slight nerf to it. There is a buff as well in certain aspects of this, because hey, the percentage is higher now, so you do have to remember that. Also, they did need to slightly adjust the writing on it, because you don't need that fist icon on the Dark Tribute. I think that's just a mistake on their end. If we're just gonna go with the updated writing and such, it should just have the blade icon and that's it. But yes, this is 5% of your max HP. Another thing is, for you PvP heads, I did say that, hey, this says affect those people that do get hit with weaknesses and stuff. Another thing is, this is max HP now, so it's no longer doing 250 moon damage. It is max HP, so you do have to play it accordingly and see how comfortable you feel, even just using the spell. And I know for low level PvPers, this is slightly better to a certain aspect on certain schools, because Dark Pact, and whenever I showcase the Empower change, is actually doing less damage to yourself than what it originally was. I know some people had that discussion. Depending on the school you are, let's say you have a pet that has the new Dark Pact or Empower, it is actually going to do less damage in 50 PV than the traditional spell would do to you. So there are some things that you have to remember for certain aspects of different combat, whether it be 50 PV, max PV, whether it be advanced combat, raids and such, and everything like that. And the reason why we know that, for example, this doesn't take off weaknesses, just because that's how max HP spells work. So whenever it's draining you for a certain percentage, it really won't take off your weaknesses. A good prime example, which I like to bring up, is if you've done the new raid. In the new raid, Ghastly does have a spell that is a 1% max HP Empower. So anytime he does have the weakness from Crime Mime puts a weakness and puts a trap on Ghastly. What happens is, whenever he does use that Empower, it doesn't get rid of that weakness and it doesn't get rid of that trap. That is a prime example of how max HP spells work. So even if you have a universal trap on you, you won't be able to get rid of that either, because this is a max HP spell now. So there's little aspects that you do have to remember. But as I said earlier, when it comes to the new Dark Pact and stuff, how is it going to work when it comes to other schools and pets and stuff? Well, the Nullity Dragon is going to get changed. I think I have the Nullity Dragon on this pet, or on this account, I mean, or this character. Yeah, I do have like a I have a pet for Decathlon. But anyways, all these dark packs will be changed. So these will be in the new spell, which is Dark Tribute, and these will be the item card variants. Same thing with the talents as well. So if you have any pet that had that dark pack spell or even item card dark pact, those are going to be like completely changed to the Dark Tribute, and there'll be item card variations, and they do stack, of course. Another thing is with the dark packs is whenever you try to dark pact into a dark pack. So let's say I'm trying to use, for example, if we go to our deck, we have the Dark Pact right here. Now, when I do it on myself, of course, I'm doing damage to myself and I'm getting 2 blades. But then if I wanted to cast an item card on myself, it's going to get rid of one of those blades. So in return, I only have 3 blades instead of 4. But since this is being changed to max HP now, when I do tend to use this on myself, it won't get rid of the blade. So there's pros to this change, there's cons to this change. It really just comes down to how you view it. You know, certain aspects of the game it's going to affect, certain aspects it's not. So just remember that. If you guys have made it this far into the video, just wanted to remind you guys that 75% of you guys that watch me on a daily basis are not subscribed. So do me a huge favor and subscribe. We're on that grind to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. All right, now let's get back into the rest of the video. And then the next spell that also got changed was Empower. Now, Empower, how it works is you take moon damage, you gain 3 pips. No crit, of course. Now, with the change, it is also becoming max HP, meaning it will take 5% of your max HP, and in return, it will give you 3 pips. So it's no longer the 250 moon damage. But as I said, it is a slight buff to certain schools in certain fights. Like I said, certain fights. Not all fights, just very minuscule fights. But for the majority that do like max peeve and stuff like that, even when we talked about the Dark Surge change, a lot of people just said, hey, we're just going to switch over to Empower. Well, now here it comes down to a personal preference. You're going to use Empower, or are you going to be using Dark Surge? Yet both spells are max HP based now. So things like that. And I assume same argument applies with the Dark Pact or the new Dark Tribute. Empower pets, for example, the pets that do have Empower on them, I believe they'll just be adjusted to the new spell, and same thing corresponding to that. Same thing as item cards, I assume. But when it comes to Empower change, I know some people were asking in Cam stream, saying like, hey, does this affect the spell? Like when it comes to like selling it? No, it's not going to affect it. Empower is not going to get banned TC wise. I'm pretty sure TC Empower is still going to exist. But like the price, so the change of the spell doesn't affect the price in the Bazaar market. That's 2 different things, and I feel like majority of people should understand that. Now with these both being changed, this does make weaknesses more viable in both scenarios. When it comes to even fighting mobs or when it comes to fighting players, weaknesses are going to be slightly a little bit more annoying, and I feel like Purge is going to be more on the rise. Cleanse Charm is going to be on the rise. Even in specific fights, I feel like Will-Cast Cleanse Charm, at least in casual PvE, will become a little bit more viable. Purge, of course, was already good. Now it's even going to be better. And anything that's a weakness counter is actually going to be slightly even better due to that. And this will affect future fights as well. And I assuming, you know, with my assumption of Darkmoor, I feel like with these changes, they always affect certain fights. And the way that how I envision some of the challenge modes or even some of the fights might go in Darkmoor with the release of the new world later this year, I feel like we're going to get weakness fights, and already just seeing these spells just give me the idea of we're going to get some sort of weakness fight in Darkmoor. I mean, hey, I could be wrong, but I'm just getting that vibe. And then lastly, I do want to mention, this does open the door for other spells being changed. For example, Bad Juju can also get changed as well if they really wanted to. Same thing as Sacrifice. For example, Bad Juju, what it does damage to yourself, and then it puts a -90 weakness on the enemy. They could revamp this. At the same time, as I know some people are going to like toss up the argument, like, I like the original Bad Juju, and I wouldn't want this to be gone. If people get what I mean. This is good for PvE fights, but if they make an advanced combat variation or allowed, that means this variation of Bad Juju is going to go away, and I kind of don't want that. And maybe that's like my selfish reasons acting, but I really wouldn't want this to be gone in any sort of way. It's a really good spell for countering bosses. A -90 weakness for 3 pips. I mean, yeah, you're doing damage yourself, but I mean, who knows? They might raise the value, and you know, it does like a certain percentage to yourself, and you know, maybe it becomes viable. Maybe they lower the percentage. Who knows? Maybe it becomes a -70 weakness. You know, maybe this will, hey, if they change it, for example, to percentage base and it becomes like, I don't know, -70 weakness or something like that, it's still good, especially, for example, if you're going to be doing the void rate. I mean, not many people are doing the void rate nowadays, but hey, this could be a viable strat for nullity, just saying. And then same thing for sacrifice, it being changed. I mean, they would probably have to change it from a burst heal, I would assume, because majority of burst heals aren't allowed in advanced combat. So even if they do change sacrifice, sacrifice's heal would, I don't think it would be a burst heal anymore. But it depends on how they want to do a lot of things, because it's death, right? It just, you know what I mean? It's death school. It's the school that's like majority of the time is countering HOTS. It's known for its countering of HOTS. Yes, it's known for countering a lot of things, but how I treat death is like, hey, it's the hot counter school. So it does open discussion for these as well to be changed, and I'm not too sure. Maybe it's a little bit too early. Maybe they'll get like other discussions from other content creators or other people in the community, but it really depends on what they do to the sacrifice of bad juju, if they do plan on it. Like I said, it's not in fruition, it's not something that they have planned, but it just brings up the discussion. It brings up the discussion, hey, should we change these? And if we do, are people okay with it? What would we do with it, etc, etc. But it does bring some discussion. But in my opinion, I feel like Dark Tribute, the new Dark Pact, is still good. It's a higher buff percentage on the blades. It's still going to be good for advanced combat. It's just going to be a little bit annoying for fights that are you doing multiple times, in a sense. For example, if like you're doing a dungeon and you're using Dark Tribute multiple times throughout the dungeon, it's going to be annoying because you're always going to be losing 5% of your health per fight. And people can make the argument for certain raids and stuff like that. And some people are even bothering to switch off Dark Pact on their pet. I know some people that use those item card pets, for example, are just going to completely change from Dark Pact to Balance Blades. I've heard discussion about that in the community as well. But I still think it's worth using. It's 235 blades. It's still a buff. You just have to manage your HP, and it depends on the fight. And I still think it'll be good. Like I said, I still think it'll be good. The empower change, I'm slightly, iffy about. I feel like 5% is a little bit too much. I think they should lower it just a tad bit. Maybe that's just a personal preference. I don't know what exact percentage I would want. Maybe 2.5 or something like that. Probably like cut it in half. But that's just me. But if they leave it at 5, they leave it at 5. But I think I would slightly adjust the empower change on the health at least. I understand the buff of the blades, but buff of the pips, depends. But those are my takes on the new changes for Empower and the new Dark Pact, which is just going to be Dark Tribute now moving forward. So anytime I go back and revisit guides, I'll have to mention it's called Dark Tribute and not Dark Pact anymore, just so it doesn't confuse people with the whole Shadow Pact system, because that's the whole reasoning of the change. And it'll be interesting. Like I said, whenever we get test room, it will be interesting. I will be testing a lot. There will be so many videos on the channel, and I just have to make sure I'm on top of things, because yes, there will be a lot of videos on the channel, I promise you. But that is it for me. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions on Empower and the new Dark Tribute, which is just replacing Dark Pact. It's not going to be a whole separate spell. It's just literally changing Dark Pact, renaming it, and updating the spell itself. But like I said, let me know in the comments down below. But that is it for me. Leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. On the grind to 9K, close to 10K as well later this year. And yeah, I'm excited for the future. But that is it for me, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.